right, it's time to bet your house. Jeremy Greene taking the star role of this segment. Bet your house, giving you the best bets on the night, college basketball and the NBA. What's the best bet of the night?
My favorite one tonight's Boston. Boston Celtics are a 1.5 point favorite against the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas has got there's some instability there. I'm hearing rumors that they've talked to Golden State about Kristaps Porzingis. They haven't played well. To me, this is a little recency bias because Boston doesn't cover the spread well, and they've played poorly. But they're without a doubt the better team.
Mm-hmm. 1.5. This is the second night of a back-to-back for the Dallas Mavericks. Kristaps didn't play last night. He plays tonight. Does that concern you?
Not really. I mean, big guys against the Celtics, I get it. But at the same time, I'm looking at Jason Tatum. I'm looking at Jaylen Brown going, yeah, at some point you're going to get this right. I'm going to stick with Boston, and I think if I do that for the rest of the year, I'm going to like how it comes out.
All right.
Might be ugly for a bit. It has been ugly for a little bit, but I'm good with Boston.
Boston to cover the 1.5 against Dallas. What's game number 2?
West Virginia. Obviously I have a little love for West Virginia.
Right.
I think West Virginia gets knocked points-wise. This started as a 9.5 point spread, and it's been bet down to 7.5. I think they get dinged because they've failed to cover against Oklahoma twice, failed to cover against Texas. There's a big damn difference between Oklahoma, Texas, and TCU.
Right.
This TCU team, I mean, they have some talent. I do like Jamie Dixon. But I think Press Virginia brings out the flaws in bad teams, and TCU's a bad team. I think West Virginia's going to win this game. I think they're going to win it in a walk. Right. I think this will be – they'll be up 10 at the under 12 timeout, and I don't know that it'll ever go below that.
Mountaineers covering tonight on the road against the Horned Frogs.
The Horned Frogs. Another reason to bet West Virginia tonight.
All right, third spot.
Virginia Tech. I'm all in on Virginia Tech. I really like this team, the way they're coached. Plus, I think you're getting a little bit of recency bias. Georgia Tech did just have I'm not going to say a signature win. They beat Miami by 1 billion. And I think that's skewing the number a little bit.
Mm-hmm. The best win they've had all year.
Well, and that kind of tells you everything you need to know. Plus Josh Pastner wears that stupid face shield, and I'm not betting on anybody that wears that. That's the goofiest look in the world, and I can't deal with it.
All right, Mike Young and the Fighting Hokies covering the 2.5 at home against Georgia Tech.
Yep.
It was one of those I saw this morning, and I immediately went, that's wrong.
This is a weird day for me in that I'm not taking dogs. I'm Mr. Underdog, and this is one of those days that I'm just looking at numbers. All 6 of my picks today are numbers that I just think are too damn low. I mean, I think I'm going with the favorite. I obviously think the favorite wins. Mm-hmm. These numbers are just too small. Virginia Tech should be a 8-point favorite against Georgia Tech.
Agreed.
I know they play slow. I get that, but it's overcorrect. It's an overcorrection.
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right, number 4.
Louisville. This is the overcorrection of the century of the year. I understand Louisville got the piss beat out of them by North Carolina.
About 45.
It was also in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And what do I always say about college basketball teams late February, early March? Who needs it more? Notre Dame's playing for exactly 0. Mm-hmm. They could run the table and get beat in the ACC tournament finals and still not make the tournament. Louisville needs this game more. They need to be impressive. This number is not nearly big enough to me. I think they're going to win this by 20.
There might be a little bit of a pissed off attitude after getting your ass kicked by 45 points over the weekend. It was their first game back in a week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was.
Plus, Chris
Carolina.
Mack had the whole thing come out yesterday about I wasn't wearing a mask in a video.
Right.
Hey, you know what tends to happen? Look at Carolina. Look at how Carolina played after their little video came out. Mm-hmm. I think Louisville's going to do the same thing.
All right, against the Fighting Irish at home at the KFC Yum Center.
The KFC Yum.
All right, the final pick of the night.
Nope, 2 more.
Oh, excuse me. 2 more. You told me 5 originally.
I did. I lied.
All right, number 5.
Missouri. Oh,
Missouri
wait.
football,
I jumped one.
What?
Texas. My apologies. I jumped one.
Oh, Texas
That's
and Kansas?
Yeah. Kansas is not great, and Texas is. I think this is recency bias as well. Texas, if you had to guess, in the last 7 games Texas has played, how many times have they covered the spread?
3.
It's 1. It's 1, and it was against TCU. But in that, there's a lot of Oklahoma State, who's better than people think they are. There were several inflated numbers in there. I thought a 5.5 point dog to Baylor was dumb. Baylor's better than that. Iowa State, you beat them by 15. It was a 17-point spread. I look at Texas and just, this team's better than Kansas. It's a prime spot, and I don't see any way they're not going to cover this. I really don't. I think they're going to win this game impressively. Recency bias with Kansas. They've won a couple in a row. They still have massive deficiencies that I don't think you can get away from.
Their best win in the last week has been against Texas Tech, and Texas Tech is a team that appears to be on a bit of a slump.
Snide.
Yeah, a little bit of a slump.
They're not as good as they were.
They
were not as good as they were 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And I can't tell you why. This is just, you're going to see this in college basketball. Basically, every pick I'm making today is bucking trends because you have teams that are not covering spreads that should be. And the reason, in large part, is I think the spreads have been wrong.
Okay, the pick is to Texas cover 2.5 at home against the Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah, I flip-flopped this. This is my favorite pick of the night.
Missouri.
Old Missouri. Missouri is a markedly better team than Ole Miss. Would you like to know why this line is so small?
Yes.
Because Mississippi beat them by 21 at home a week and a half ago, and people are betting it sideways. Ole Miss is still not good. They're still not a good team. Missouri is, they need a get-right spot because if they're not careful, they're going to fall out of the top 25. And Missouri's a tournament team. Ole Miss is not. Again, prime spot. Who needs it more? It's Missouri. I honestly would bet this all the way to 8. Like, if Missouri was an 8-point favorite tonight, I'd still take it because they're just that much better than Ole Miss. You're letting one recent game sway your. Always remember, the Detroit Pistons beat the Brooklyn Nets. If they played again tonight, what would you do with it? That's what I thought. Missouri minus 3.5.
All right, that's your 5-pack of picks in the first ever Bet Your House segment at the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias. Like it, share it, follow it. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. We'll see you next time.
If you want to, then I want you to. And if you need to, then I need you to. Oh.